Well, good day, everybody. I'm really looking forward to this interview. It's with my good friend, Carlos Guzman, all the way from Mexico. And we're going to hear his story about how he joined WSI. And believe it or not, we've both been in this business for 15 years. And I think we have the same struggles, me in South Africa and him in Mexico. Global business is not always that easy for us. But let's see how we go with this today. So, Carlos, thanks so much for your time today. Really appreciate you being with us today.
It's a pleasure, Francois. As always, we've been partners and fellows and friends for many years, so this should be like a very, very friendly conversation.
Just looking forward to it. So, okay, tell us a little bit about yourself and business in Mexico.
Well, I started WSI 15 years ago. I am based in Mexico City, and I also live in Mexico City, just in the outside part of Mexico City. And being in Mexico with this kind of business, it's been interesting because usually in terms of culture, of digital culture, Mexico is a little bit behind the US and Canada, which are our neighbors. But at the same time, we're so close that everything that deals with technology and with new things gets here very fast. So the challenge is always how to build that bridge between what you're hearing that's happening very close by, and then implementing that in our geographies, which sometimes in terms of connectivity and bandwidth and all that, it's a challenge because we're not there yet. But it's been a great journey, and Mexicans are filled of creativity, so that for my business has been a good fuel. My staff, my people, I have people in the team today, as I have grown and have built a team. And they are very creative. So yeah, it's great. And aside from business, I enjoy exercising. I enjoy running. I some marathons, not anymore, but I did it some years ago. Right. I like to go walking in the fields and trekking with friends, and I do everything, all those activities with my wife. So it's a good way to share with her. And at the end, I like wine, as you. Red wine.
Yeah, well, I think we've got something, really in common over there. Just want to see what happened here. I just want to see something's going. So tell me now, you've been a consultant for quite a while. What made you want to become an internet or digital marketing consultant based from where you were before?
Well, I was part of the corporate life for many years in the IT sector, and then. When I finished my last employment, and I decided to go solo and started doing some consulting, I focused myself on management consulting, and I actually specialized on change management. I did some training on change management, and I started my company as a change management consultant.
Okay.
So I was evolving on my gigs, and I was working with customers. What I found out is that at the end, and this is 15 years ago, but at the end, I always recommended to do something digital, and I always recommended to do something in the internet. Okay. And I was like giving recommendations to somebody else to come and collect that opportunity. And I said to myself, no, I have to vertically integrate that. And that's what I did. At the end, I finished that integration, and I became a digital consultant, and then eventually an agency. Now, prior to that, before I really went into business, what happened is that in my career in the IT sector, I had a lot of relationship with channels, distribution channels. I worked for Apple, I worked for Toshiba, I worked for one of the main distributors in Mexico, wholesale distributors for IT equipment. So what happened is that I, during all those years, I had a lot of interactivity and even friendships with people that were entrepreneurs. They had their own companies. They were enjoying and suffering the independence. So while I was in the corporate world, I always thought that my next step would be to become independent. So whenever the conditions became appropriate, then I decided to go independent. And when I go back and I think about it, I just ask myself, why didn't I do it before?
I think we all
I
have that
spent
question.
so many years working for somebody else. So I've been so happy doing this the last 15 years.
Yeah, it's been a very rewarding career. I also had something very similar. I did a degree and many years back, just before I started, on and the internet was around, and I could do all my research, and I found stuff, and I was so fascinated with websites just as they started. And then when things didn't work in corporate, and I thought I need to do something, I went back on the internet and I found this business, and that's how it all started. So it's always interesting how where you find yourself and then moving on into another opportunity. So
Yeah, a side note here, when I decided that I needed to integrate the digital part into my consulting gig, I didn't like programmers, I didn't like designers, I didn't want to have that staff in my team.
yeah,
So I started looking for a model or for somebody that I could outsource to. And that's when I jumped into WSI. And the model was beautiful because it allowed me to have my own business, define my own business plan. But at the same time, I could leverage on a marketplace where I could find all those resources that I did not want to have on my payroll.
yeah.
And that was amazing because that was exactly the model I was looking for. And that's where I found WSI to be a good fit to the plan that I had for that business.
Right. Yeah. So like the biggest value that you get from WSI are these things that you're talking about. So tell us maybe just a couple of things. I think you mentioned like the access to the marketplace and other areas that you find that you get value.
Yeah, well, access to the marketplace is one very important, and it's very important when you are starting a business. Probably once you start growing and trying to do some things in-house, you do not use the marketplace as much, even though you still use it. But at the beginning, in the first years of the business, the marketplace is key to grow. That's one of the important values that I get from WSI. The other one is obviously training. It's like I conceive WSI like my research and development team department, because I know that there's always somebody there worried about looking into the new technologies, assessing and evaluating vendors to see if they can bring them into the supply system, into the marketplace. And once they bring somebody, we are sure that they have gone through an audit and they are serious companies, that they have a robust technology,
Right.
and that they can deliver to us a pricing that's good enough for us to build margin on top of that and become profitable. So I would say that the second thing is training, and that training is it's in technology, it's in best practices,
Yeah.
it's in products, and a lot of different things that your research and developing team, which is WSI, is bringing to my desk every day. I could get into a webinar, I think every day of the week if I had the time, and I could be training all the time. So that I would say that the second one is training, and the third one, it's a global community. It's that thing in which when you have a challenge, when you have a new prospect in a sector that you probably don't know very much, you only go into the community and ask anybody, have you done this? Any challenges that you can share? Can you share your presentation with me? Can you share your proposal? And that global community becomes the team that an entrepreneur usually doesn't have in-house.
Yeah.
When an entrepreneur goes solo and he has to solve everything by himself and getting into a lot of errors and mistakes. But when you belong to a community of people doing the same thing you are doing around the world, then you can always go and ask them for advice, for resources, and they will always. The WSI community is beautiful. There's always somebody or many people willing to help, and that's when you're accessing the community remotely. But then we have like the events, we have the regional meetings, and we have the global convention that we have once a year. And when you go there, and I haven't missed one single convention since I started, so I have been to 14 or 15 conventions. That is like the refueling, like the time in which you go and talk to your peers. You get to spend several days with them, sharing experiences, hearing at conferences, looking at the vendors in the face, making deals. So it's great. The global community, I would say, it's the third biggest value that I get from WS.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. I mean, I must say the thing I really enjoy is the global community, having people like you right around the other side of the world. We can just, pick up Skype and we can talk video, and it just feels like it was yesterday that we were, together at one of the conferences. So it's a wonderful experience.
It's amazing. Mm-hmm.
So tell me, when you were looking, you transitioned out of your business and your consultancy. How did anybody influence you, when you started looking at the WSI franchise? Did you speak to anybody, or what was it that made you feel like you were going to go for it?
Well, WSI has always had this recognition for consultants that have been on the business for quite some time, and they make the landscape very easy for those consultants to share and to teach and to train new consultants that are coming into the system. Today, it's much more structured than it was 15 years ago, but still 15 years ago, it was great. And I got the chance to talk to several consultants that were already in the business, and all of them were very happy. All of them were really building their business. All of them expressed themselves as fortunate of being in a field that was growing so fast, that had a lot of opportunity into the future. So talking to those experienced and seasoned consultants was very important when I was making the decision. And prior to that, obviously, when you have that feeling of being independent, of building your own business, you usually tend to go and see franchises, because franchises should bring into the table a set of processes and best practices that will make your business start and ramp up faster.
Right.
It's always better to have something that tells you how to proceed and what are the steps and what the technology that you should use, instead of going and starting from scratch. So when I was researching franchises, I saw a lot of franchises that could be somewhat similar to the WSI, but the WSI had something that was interesting for me, which was it allowed you to build your own business model. It was not that strict, it was not that fixed. So for example, in the community of WSI consultants, there's some of them that will work by themselves in their house, and they are a one-man operation, and they are still very successful. Some other ones will have like a team of people, work at home, and then go to the office, have the team there. Some other ones will have a team of freelancers, and some other ones like me will build like a company with people and staff and everything. And all of us are WSI.
Right.
And each one of us has a different model of going to the market and working on the everyday gigs, because at the end, when you build up an entrepreneurship venture, you build your business, one of the things you're looking is into the future, and some of us that have been on the corporate are looking for a quality of life, or something that allows you to probably work more hours, but then take 2 or 3 weeks vacation without having to ask permission to somebody. And that's me. I work very, very intensively when I am in not in vacation, and I probably spend 10 hours, sometimes 12 hours in the business, and because I like it, I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But then suddenly people decide to go on vacation. I go 10, 20, 25, 30 days on vacation. I'm still connected, but that way of managing and defining your own business model, I think it's one of the other pluses that I found with WSI. And I was especially inspired by businessmen and business people that were able to do that. Have business, but be able to define the way the business operated so it could be matched with their own lifestyle or the lifestyle that they were pursuing. And that was inspiring, because if you go into a business that's a very strict franchise that tells you that you have to be on the counter making sandwiches all day, that's not fun. It's a self-employment, but that's not fun. So that's why I found that my goals, the inspiration that I had from entrepreneurs and WSI, were kind of matching very well to the way I wanted to build my business into the future. And at the end, that was part of the inspiration. Able to define the way that I want to go to market and define the way that I want to operate. I follow the WSI system. I work with the marketplace. I learn from WSI. I learn from the community. But at the end, I am the architect of my own business model. And I think that's very good.
Yeah, that's perfect. And, just listening to you, I was thinking that you have to be careful of what you wish for. And when I was in corporate before I started here, I used to watch some of these guys that go on holiday or a trip every 6 weeks to 2 months. They would take 2 weeks off. And I said to myself, that's what I want to do one day. I want to be able to take 2 weeks off every 2 months. I don't have to have a lot of money, just get out and do it. And I must say, I've lived that dream now. When we're always traveling and you're connected and you can take that time off. And, you have a big business. I don't know if you can show me around your office a little bit just now with the video, if it's possible. It will be.
Well, I'm not at the office right now because it's very early in Mexico right now.
Well, you can send me a video.
If I work there, my team is not at the office right now. I'll send you some. I will send you some pictures with the staff in there.
Yeah, that'll be great, because here I am. I'm in my home, and I started this business 15 years ago, and eventually we had 11 people in here. I used to get up in the morning, and I'd think like, wow, my house is full of people. So we went and rented offices for 3 years, and this year. What we did is we sort of said, okay, all of you can work from home if you like, full time, but you can enjoy the lifestyle that we do, So we get together maybe once a week in a smaller office, but as you said, it's really great. Now, I know you sent me some photos, and it looks like you have a big team, man. I got a team of 16, and I think you maybe almost double that. So what is your typical work week like? With a big team like that, it's not just a one-man show that gets up in the morning and thinks, oh, I'm going to go do something. You got a business now that you're running. So tell me a little bit about what your week is like, because your franchise is like a model business that we could look at.
Well, first of all, eventually, what I did is I built 2 businesses inside my business. So I do have the digital agency, which is the WSI business, and I have another IT business where I am an authorized partner of a very well-known brand of software that I sell as an IT solution.
Okay.
Both companies live in the same building, and we share all the admin resources. So at the end, I have 32 people right now, I think.
Lovely.
And 21 or 22 are in the WSI business, and the other ones are either on the management team, which is only four people,
right, and
on the other IT business. So I'm a little bit. I have a little bit more people than you do, probably 21 people. Yeah, but I'm counting some part-time freelancers that work with us, and they come into the office probably once or twice a week, just to get the team rolling. But